know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain 'em to you. If there's a thing you want to explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Femsplain!
Hello, Diana.
Hi, Avalon.
And hello, anyone else who might be listening in on this private conversation. Ugh.
Listeners, we might call them.
I won't call them that or anything.
Peepers. Those peepers out there.
Hi, peepers. Ew.
Yeah.
When you said it, it was okay. When I said it, it seemed like a cutesy nickname for a penis.
Oh, God.
Hello, peepers. I'm not saying that's what Francis is.
Yeah. Nickname for... Oh. So, welcome to... What is this?
Welcome to Femsplained.
Yeah.
That's what
what's
this
that?
is. Femsplained is a girls-only clubhouse podcast in which two queer femme human beings named Diana and Avalon create space to talk about things that they feel passionate or excited or nerdy about.
That's right. But just because that's the space we've created doesn't mean that we don't want people of every gender and non-gender to listen, laugh, and learn with us. I don't know if there's a whole lot of learning, but listening and laughing. I don't know the educational value of this podcast.
Yeah.
But listen and laugh, definitely.
So we've definitely got listen. Mm-hmm. We're optimistic about laugh.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go ahead and get rid of learn.
Yeah, learn is a pipe dream. So listen and laugh with us about these things. Last week, I'm Diana, hello, went on a fucking insane tirade about Peter Pan.
That's not what it was. It was such a articulate and classy sort of dissertation.
Tirade. A classy, absolute
So good.
ramble about Peter Pan, which is something that no other person is obsessed about. So if you listen to that,
I think some children probably
email
are.
me. Like, I don't know. Because that's pretty weird. And yeah, so now this week it is.
We're not talking about it. We don't know it yet.
Oh, we don't know.
Not only does a man have to tell us about it, but also first we have to talk about.
We do. We have to do our new segment.
Yes.
Avalon? Oh my
We
God.
have to talk about what nerd culture has done for us lately.
What has nerd culture done for you lately, Avalon?
Well, so Nerd Burlesque show that I was building up to producing
Yes.
happened on the Friday prior to recording this. And it went pretty well and it was pretty fun. The only sort of performance snafu happened with one of my numbers, which I would much rather than someone else's, but it kind of means that I didn't really get to do it, which I was sad about.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, it's fine. I just liked it, so I was sad that I didn't get to do it. But I did a Bowsette number that went off pretty well. And I got
Bowsette.
to reuse my Halloween costume, which is always kind of nice to get more than one use out of a costume. And I actually performed it at another show the following night out of town, so I got 3 uses from my Bowsette costume, which is
One
awesome.
costume. Can you just take a step back and tell me what Bowsette is? Because I want to hear you say it.
Sure. So, Bowsette is one of the weird things that has happened in Nintendo internet fandom recently. Not quite as creepy as the Stormy Daniels Toad analogy. However, when it was announced that, Toadette can put on the super crown and become like a weird humanoid princess, it led the internet to speculate what would happen if Bowser put on the super crown. And then like the internet immediately reached this like weird simultaneous consensus that she would be like a dominatrix.
That she would be bae.
Yeah. And like she's just like a thick AF sex thing. I don't know. So I felt like I should take advantage of the timeliness of that in approaching Halloween and approaching Villain's burlesque show and and do that because it was a good intersection of silly and overtly sexual,
Yeah.
which is how I would describe myself as a performer.
That's what you finally, because I listened
finally have a
to
tag.
our I was just listening to our original burlesque episode, and I you know, when I asked you what your style of performance was, I feel like this is the answer I really wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really fun. I tried to make my Bowsette a little bit less literal and do sort of like a Marie Antoinette Bowsette because I thought it'd be more fun. So like I had a big beehive with the super crown on it, and I had like one of those exposed cage skirts, which also I think was a good effect for stripping.
Yeah.
if I'm being frank. I think that the costume like moved interestingly and translated really well. So I was proud of it.
That's pretty cool. Pictures are up on Instagram if you want to see Avalon
Not
dressed
burlesque
as
pictures, just Halloween
no,
pictures. Yeah.
as Bowsette.
Yeah.
As Bowsette, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, it might be one of my favorite costumes I've done. I don't know why. I just thought it was really fun.
Really good. It's really good. It was extremely topically like point.
It was good. The timing was really good. It was funny because the Nerd Burlesque show was at a video game bar and people were like, yeah, Bowsette, huh. And then I performed it the next night at like a roadhouse in the middle of like rural Southern Oregon. And I thought there was no fucking way anyone was going to know what I was or what I was doing. But the people there who knew it like freaked the fuck out. And it was very validating and very fun.
That's so exciting. I love that.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. So yeah, so there was that. And then honestly, that show took over my life and I'm so happy it's over.
Yeah, I've missed you.
I mean, I just like had to completely vanish because it was also midterms and it was just like the worst 2 weeks ever. Yeah. But now that that's done, I have been playing the new, not the new Diablo, but the Diablo release on Switch. And that's been really fun. And I'm digging that. And I binged Sabrina.
Yeah.
We have gotten addicted to Charmed since we last talked.
Yes! Charmed, that's a mutual
to the peepers.
one.
And I'm continuing to watch Clone Wars, and that's all I can think of for nerd culture.
Cool.
What about you? What has nerd culture done for you lately, Diana?
Oh man, you know, not anything like large scale really recently, but just a couple of nice little things. I went to a really fucking ill Harry Potter party.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I was so jealous.
It was so extremely well done. I have a friend who does not know how to do things half-assed, and I bless her every day for that. She had a real sorting hat. She created like a curtain so that as we entered the party, she could place us in our houses. We had divination class where she like told some girl like ahead of time like really specific facts about each of us, and then like didn't tell us that had happened, and so we were like going through divination class and getting like actually spooked by this girl's fortune telling. We made our own wands out of like hot glue and paint. We then dueled, where we had the dueling game was actually really fun. You had a partner on your side, and you would say the spell. So like say I said Expelliarmus, like my partner would actually go and grab their wand and throw it across the room.
That's how we play Pokemon. Yeah, whenever we get really drunk, that's how we play Pokemon. The trainer will say something, and then you have to go like pretend to be a tornado and go attack.
Yeah. Oh, it was just like that. So we did that. She also she's a coder by trade and by hobby, and so she coded a custom game of Jeopardy that she had casted to the television. It was so good. All of it was so good. She had little Easter eggs all around. She had a moaning myrtle in the toilet. She had like a Marauder's map and like the wanted posters from the Ministry of Magic like all over one wall as like a photo background. We had the house cup competition, so she had like jars for each house, and she had different colored beads to represent like numerical points. And throughout the night, like if you did challenges, like I solved the poison bottle game from the book, the poison bottle puzzle.
Yeah. From Chamber of Secrets.
from Chamber of Secrets. When I solved that, 'cause
No, Sorcerer's Stone. Sorry.
is it from Sorcerer's Stone?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I solved that and got like 50 points for Hufflepuff. And if you won like the duel, whoever won the duel, and then Jeopardy, you got a bunch of points, whatever. And then also throughout the night, if you liked something someone said, as long as they weren't in your own house, you could award another house any points throughout the night. And it was just really funny because there was a lot of like people. It's so apparent how strongly like people connect with their like house definitions. Yeah. And the example I'll give of that was that Slytherin did win the House Cup, with Gryffindor being like very, very close behind. Hufflepuff had almost no points despite having the most members at the party, because we were more likely to help other people out with different challenges instead of competing against anyone. Yeah, so I got a small prize at the end for being very quintessentially Hufflepuff, even though we didn't win anything. But she had really great prizes. She had like real quill pens and like authentic Marauders maps. And yeah.
Diana, I'm so fucking jealous of this party. You have no idea. It's been making me furious.
We drank gilly water and it was so good. It was just gin and tonics, but it was yeah. It was great. And she made the chocolate frogs. She made them. Little actual chocolate frogs. That shit. And she can't. But she made them, and she made the packaging to put them in. She like printed them out and made, I know.
I just feel like this person thinks they're better than me, and that's really my only takeaway.
That's the thing, is that she just does not. She's just like, no. And then, so now we woke up and we started planning the next one, and it's going to be Lord of the Rings. And I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Fuck. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it looked awesome. Yeah. So jealous.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then, I don't know, honestly, I've hit some recently some kind of, nerdy jackpots in terms of good dates that have gone on that have been really nerdy and cool, and really I've liked dirty. That. No. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Nothing big.
Sweet. I like it. Well, if that's all that nerd culture has done for us lately, and it sounds like we haven't done anything for nerd culture. Actually, I produced a show. Fuck that.
You produced a whole show.
Yeah, you didn't. You haven't.
I got drunk.
You got drunk for nerd culture, though.
I got drunk in a cape. That's what happened. So now if we could get...
you are back to doing D&D.
Yes, my D&D group is back. We took a short hiatus. We were trying to figure out, scheduling issues, and we were coming up on the end of a big arc. And when they finished it, I wanted to give them the option to try other gaming systems, or to swap DMing, or to try different things. And I would have been really proud and excited for them to try other things, but selfishly, the fact that they were like, no, keep going with the campaign, also makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside. So I'm happy. We played on Sunday to start the newest chapter in their quests lives. So that I am very, very happy and blessed about.
#blessed?
#blessed I am. Yeah.
Well, then, I guess, since we don't know how else to maintain this conversation, it would be nice if somebody else could maybe step in and let us know what we could possibly talk about today.
Yeah, like a man. Like somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, that would definitely be preferable.
Yeah. I would love that.
Everything's explained. Mansplain me now. Tell the ladies what to say. Mansplain minute. Putting 1 minute on the man watch and go. Pokemon. Oh, you like Pokemon? Let me guess. You had the trading cards when you were a kid because you liked the pretty pictures? when the first movie came out, you had to go out to Burger King and buy like 100 kids meals so you could have the toys to show off at school. Yeah, Pokemon's evolved a lot since you were probably into it. Around like Gold and Silver, I'm guessing, is where you dropped off. But when you really get into some of the later entries, it becomes about the meta and the competitive scene. You can't just pick the ones with the prettiest hair or the one that remind you of your poodle. You have to really like put the work in. Because there's also, like, natures and stuff. So you may think that you have a strong Pokemon, but if its nature is no good, well, then you're not going to last long in a tournament, my friend. But yeah, no, tell me more about how you picked up Let's Go Pikachu to relive your childhood. Huh. Wake me up when Pretendo Switch decides to get real and bring another installment to the franchise that we true hardcore fans have actually been waiting for. And that's your Mansplain Minute.
Well, good. Thanks, Francis.
Thanks, Francis. I was talking to the recording. I said, you're welcome. For what? So we're talking about some fucking Pokemon. How do you feel about that?
Pokemon. I feel unqualified, but I do feel very excited about it because I like it a lot.
When do you remember the first time Pokemon came into your life?
Yeah, Pokemon was in my life originally because of the show, the television show, which I loved right away and was very hooked on right away. And I don't remember the timeline of when they like became popularized, but it was pretty close when I became like into the card game. So that became my thing. Like every Friday night I went to the local library after school and hung out there for like 3 hours playing Pokemon cards. And that was my whole like thing for a long time.
And you battled?
Oh yeah. Oh, I did.
Sweet.
I battled. I had 3 decks that I had built. They weren't, I wasn't like as competitive as some people were. I wasn't gonna claim to be crazy good at it, but I was very proud of the decks that I had created. I was,
What were your elements?
Okay. So I had I know that my favorite one was an earth like heavy deck.
Yeah.
That I was super proud of, and that was my like go-to one. And the one was lightning, and then I don't remember what the other one was because I don't think I used it very often. But those were my 2 favorites.
I feel like, at least for me, I felt like most of the more common cards that I would get were water. So I would be surprised if you didn't have like a water deck that you didn't give a fuck
I
about.
might have, but I think those were like my throwaway like cards because they were so common, and I was so like adamant on having something different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That makes sense. I can remember going with my grandmother on like when I was visiting her over spring break in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and she babysit these kids, and they had the Pokemon Game Boy game. And I got to play it, and I was like, what? And I liked it so much. And then I like asked for it like for my birthday or whatever. The show, I guess the show must have come next. And I know I watched it, and I know I enjoyed watching it, but it didn't like become a show that I was obsessed with or like would act out or whatever, which is normally sort of my litmus test for how much I liked something as a kid, is if I was pretending to be in it.
Yeah, that was me. I wanted to be Ash Ketchum so fucking bad.
Yeah, so it's weird to me that I didn't, even though I knew I know I watched it. It may be that it must have been happening at the same time as Sailor Moon is what it was, and I didn't have room.
Yeah, because
in my fantasy.
That's what I watched, basically. Like, I knew about Sailor Moon and had watched a little bit of it, but Pokemon was the show that I was obsessed with.
Yeah. It was also, like, I also did the card thing, so I think it was necessary to watch the show. But I think that it was a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
For me.
Extremely cheesy.
I know, I'm just saying, like, I may not have, like, loved it.
I don't know how you can watch any Japanese animation
Sure.
and then call Pokemon cheesy. I don't like.
I think it was cheesier than.
I so disagree. Oh my god.
There was no there were no mature topics being handled. Basically, there was no romance, and there was no big bad. True. There was no big bad, and there was no romance.
There was romance.
No, there was not.
I mean, it was low key, but it was implied.
It was too low key.
It was too low key. Yeah. The movies maybe made it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that if the protagonist of that show had been Misty, I would have been more on board. But I think that seeing things through Ash's perspective was a little, And then, honestly, I really think it was that there wasn't a big bad. Like, the stakes were reset with every single episode.
Yes,
and so it became
was
like
very,
Scooby-Doo. Not like...
It was No, yeah. It was more like, oh, God. Inspector Gadget. It was Inspector Gadget. There was one big bad, and he lost every time. Yeah. And that was Team Rocket.
And it was so formulaic.
Them. Yeah. It was formulaic, but, I mean... cheesy. Like it was, I mean, you have no argument from me in that it was cheesy. It was very, very cheesy. But like, you watch Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and those cartoons are so cheesy too.
They're cheesy in a different way though. Maybe cheesy's the wrong word.
Campy, maybe.
I don't know. But it's for a younger audience.
Yes.
And I'm so fucking mature. So anyway, it was fun. I really, really liked the cards. Probably more than the show. My equivalent of your Friday night library was either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I can't remember. I know it was midweek, annoyingly, at Books A Million, which was also a retailer of the cards. But it was sort of like an officially sanctioned meetup for battling. So I don't know if this was the case with your library, but they gave us like a passport booklet. And every battle you won, you got a stamp. And every 100 battles, they gave you an actual pin that was like a Boulder badge.
That's so cool. No, the library was just like they had free gaming space for like tweens in like the young adult section on Friday nights, and it was pretty much almost all Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh at for a certain like chunk of time. And it was, I mean, kids battled, and we made our own like kind of tournaments out of it, but it was not anything that was organized by anyone else.
Right. Yeah. I think that that's totally acceptable. It was awesome though that we had actual fucking badges though.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I'm mad right now.
Yeah, they were the shit. They were like metal backed pins. They were really legit, and they were free, I think, because of how much fucking money they were making off of kids buying the cards.
Yeah, sure.
But I just remember it was $3.30 at the register for a pack of cards, and I became so obsessed with that increment of money. So obsessed. I think it must have been because there must be like a 10-cent sales tax on the dollar. That must be why it was $3.30. But I just remember being amazed by how quickly finding quarters you could get enough of them.
Yeah.
Like
to get
all you needed were 14 quarters, and that was a pack of cards. And every pack of cards was like it was just unbelievable, the suspense.
Yeah, of going through and being and
not knowing,
just flipping all of those fucking
and
element
the foil,
cards,
like opening the foil. Anything could be inside. It could be a holographic fucking Chansey. It could change your life. It could just be a bunch of Staryus. You never know. It could be a
Mew. It could be a fucking Mew.
Could be a Mew. I could never dream that big. I just wanted a goddamn Charizard.
I had a Mew and I never got a Charizard. I always wanted. I had a Mew and I never had a Charizard.
Wow.
And then did you?
I was so impressed.
And then did you? Well, it was just like fucking luck. It's not like I didn't do anything to attain it.
No, it feels like you were chosen though.
I was the other thing do you remember the McDonald's collectible like 3-inch thick?
That shit was Burger King.
Oh, it was Burger King?
It was. And it was part of the movie release. Yeah. It was Togepi it was like a gold 3-inch.
It was like a gold medallion.
Slab.
It was like so thick. It's so heavy. But it was shaped like a tiny Pokemon card.
They also had those really good little plushy Pokeball toys, right? Were they plush
Yeah.
inside of them? That was one of the times in my life that I was most devastated that we were not allowed to eat fast food because I did not get it. But I would have killed for
Yeah,
it.
my parents both worked nights, so we got to eat fast food
Sweet.
because grandma didn't give a shit.
Man, I'm so jealous. Did you see the movie in theater?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course I did.
Did you get the card? They gave out Mewtwo cards.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I cried at some part of that movie, and I don't remember what, but I know that
exactly
I
when you cried. And it's when
When did I
Pikachu is slapping the shit out of himself.
Because I related so
Ash
hard.
is dead. There's this scene where it's brother versus brother. It's like the American Civil War. And there's Pikachus that are just so exhausted they can't even Thunderstrike anymore. And they're just whining back and just slapping. Chew! And they're just slapping each other in the face and they're weeping. And it's just heart-wrenching. It's horrible to see Pikachus beating the shit out of each other's faces.
Tell me how this is for a younger audience.
I mean, I don't know. But I will say
that's pretty existential.
I don't know. I can still watch, like, a GIF of that scene. I'm not calling it a fucking GIF. A GIF of that scene.
Why would you call it a GIF? That's not what it's called.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a GIF.
No, it's a GIF.
It's the acronym is G for graphic. It's a hard G.
It's not.
Says who?
Says the person who invented them.
Oh, well, they can go fuck right off.
I know. How have you
tell
not been
J.K.
privy to
Rowling to
this
fuck
internet?
right off, too.
Yeah. Have you
wrote
not
the
been
Harry
privy to this controversy of the GIFs versus the GIFs? It was officially declared GIF, but I refuse. I'm a holdout.
Because it's a GIF. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I can see a GIF of Pikachus smacking the shit out of each other and get a little misty-eyed.
Yeah.
And then also, like, Ash dies and Pikachu's crying or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Ash dying that made me cry.
No, I think it's the Pikachus beating each other up.
Yeah, I think it's that.
So fucking heart-wrenching, and I don't know why. Yeah, I went and saw it with my grandmother, God bless her, because Francis may have told this story in his Mansplain Minute, or maybe not, because he hasn't done it yet. But his stepdad took him to see the movie and swears to this day that it's, like, the most confusing and bad movie he's ever seen. And so I watched the Pokemon movie as an adult, trying to, like, pretend like I had zero context, like I was a parent taking my kid, and it is fucking, like, out there.
Do they not set it up? They don't set it up? That's wonderful. No. That's so good.
And if you leap into the deep end of the Pokemon movie with no context, it is a fucking trip.
That's great. I have to do that. I haven't rewatched it since, like...
Rewatch it. It's pretty bad.
Tween-age years.
Tween-age years is too old.
Whatever. I didn't want to get into Magic the Gathering. I stayed rooted in Pokemon for too long.
So Magic the Gathering was never on the table for me to get into, but I did have to resist the Yu-Gi-Oh train.
Yu-Gi-Oh, for some reason, it was like a split crowd. Like, when I was at the library, like, there were the people who played Pokemon cards and the people who played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And, like, whatever team you were on that team, and there was no conflict of interest.
Yeah.
As soon as Magic the Gathering, like, came into that crowd, the crowds merged. And anyone who resisted was slaughtered. Like you were just taken out back and murdered. As you were like, I don't want to learn a new game. I want to keep playing Pokemon. And then all of a sudden, all your friends are dead, and you're just like, well, I want to play this game. Then can you guys, like, teach me how to play this game? And they're like, nope, sorry, we're done speaking to women now.
Yeah.
And then they close the doors for the next 25 years.
Well, I think that was probably for the best. I don't know. It sounds hard.
It's not that it's hard. It's just that it's fucking math, the game, and it's.
That sounds hard.
It is. It's just, I don't know. I guess isn't exactly the words. It's just that, like Pokemon, like the strategy of building your deck is a large part of it, so that part is interesting. That part is fun. In terms of playing, though, the strategy is I don't really know that I get how the strategy of the actual game like works, because there are people who are like legitimately like career good at it, and they
Yeah,
win money.
I don't like that about it. I don't like how much money is wrapped up in it.
Oh, it's so much money, and it's why none of my gaming stores are bearable to be in anymore, because
Yeah.
it's all Magic the Gathering, and it's all fucking whatever.
It's a bummer.
It's a legitimately good game, but it's just like, if you, I don't know, there's no space in gaming stores for anything else now, which sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah, it does. So I'm salty about Magic the Gathering. So I'm too harsh on it as a game. I'm sure as a game it's fine. And I've played a couple times, and I don't necessarily hate it. I don't think it's fun enough to have the like
The Gathering.
to have the gathering that it does have, but I guess the competitive nature of it, and the money and the ability to become like quote unquote the best at it.
Well, also, it doesn't have the merch that Pokemon has. Has there ever been
No, because
like
it doesn't have cool enough stuff in it, honestly. Like, I mean, like, nothing's cute or like
Right. Well, that's what
or
I'm saying. That's the
interesting.
problem with
Yeah.
it. It's not cute enough. I just, in hindsight, I cannot fathom the staying power of Pokemon. How has Pokemon been a thing for this long? Has
Because it's
anything ever
fucking
been a thing
adorable.
for this fucking long?
It's fucking adorable, and they keep up. The thing is, they keep updating the content to fit what we want. Like,
they?
like as
Because,
a culture,
like-
they do. They gave us an augmented reality game.
Wow.
Like they gave us portable console games. They gave us web browser games. They gave us like fucking big fluffy stuffed animals. They give us whatever the fuck we want, and they cater to us as we change.
Well, I
and as
feel
our
like it
needs
was
change.
like becoming a hardcore fans only thing for a while as the generations number started to stack. Like, I would say that I'm like Gen 3 is like a stretch, but like 1 and 2. And I like that they're cashing in on sort of the nostalgia of Gen 1 right now, because that's what's happening with our age range right now.
Yeah.
But prior to Pokemon Go, when it was like Gen fucking 6, like not that many people were still on board. And yet it had like an emotional staying power. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because the games seem to keep like enough original format to keep the nostalgia factor. So like this is where I think the difference lies. So like I wasn't a Nintendo person. I never played the Pokemon games growing up. I never had exposure to them because we could afford one console in our family, and we bought a Sega, and so that was what happened.
Yeah.
That was the end of the story. And then when that died, we didn't get a new one.
Yeah.
So there was nothing. So I played all the Sonic games. That was my obsession, video game wise. I never played.
You
a
are
Pokemon
like
game.
Tails.
Yes, that was my nickname
Yeah,
when I
you-
was in elementary school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Did you
wow,
make
yeah.
that happen?
No, my best friend Sean called me that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Sean and Turner and James and some other kid, Mike something, and I don't remember who the fuck he was. I think he moved. But yeah, so they were like my crew in elementary school. We're a bunch of dorks with no other friends, and we played the video games, the Sonic video games, and then when we weren't playing the video games, we were like pretending to be those characters and playing make believe.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that I loved. But when they tried to adapt like the Sonic games to a newer, like wider audience, they lost all of the nostalgia factor. Like none of the combat stayed the same, none of the like content like stuck to the canon, and it all became like they went from being like these side scroller games to being like weird RPGs that had nothing to do with the old games at all, and none of it looked remotely the same, and it didn't fit. And so like if you go and play one of the newer like Sonic games, you're not going to get any sort of nostalgia factor, and it's just like kind of a shitty RPG. It's not like, so you don't have any like good buying point.
Yeah.
The Nintendo did it right with Pokemon. Like they keep a lot of the same the same feel to the games, but they just update them and make them like
I just feel like they were getting to a point of reinventing the wheel that like I don't know. I was definitely one of those people that was like, I don't need 1,000 fucking Pokemon. Like, I don't need Sunmon and Moonmon and, like, just, like, fucking, like, the lack of inspiration for the actual monsters was starting to become a little bit,
I can get on board with that, like, the new monsters get a little, like, why are we still doing this?
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I like that I like the way that it's getting a reboot. Like, I'm really excited for Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
And I say Let's Go Eevee because that's the one I'm getting, not Let's Go Pikachu. Because obviously Eevee's the tits.
Eevee is the tits.
Even if it can't evolve.
Oh, yeah, no, Eevee's still great. Yeah.
So.
I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah. So what would you evolve your Eevee into in real life?
No, I always, like, initially want to say Flareon, but it's Vaporeon. That's the one I love the most. What about you?
I have a really hard time. I mean, if we're talking about, like, Gen 1, I don't give a fuck about Jolteon. It's the same kind of, like, I want to say Vaporeon, but it's Flareon. Or, like...
That one, that's what I feel for you, yeah, is Flareon.
Yeah. I get really torn between fire and water element in general. Like, whenever it's relevant to a game.
I don't know why I don't care about Jolteon, though. Like, I just don't.
I don't care. Yeah. I mean, Jolteon's fine. Mostly it comes down to, I mean, honestly, which one do you want to pet?
Yeah. I want to hug Vaporeon.
See, I want to hug Flareon.
Yeah, that's who I want to hug.
Yeah. Even though I have, like, maybe more respect for Vaporeon. I do. I mean, like, fire is fire.
Yeah.
But that shit is cute.
Yeah.
But Vaporeon's got, like, all kinds of, like, bubbles and fog, and you're swimming, you can do some surf, you can ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is it scaly? I can't tell.
It's like smooth. It's like a seal.
Okay. Yeah. I want to pet Flareon. Because that shit looks like cotton candy.
Yeah.
I just want to push on it.
What are the other ones? There's in the later releases.
Yeah, those ones are good too.
What are they like?
There's Espeon and Umbreon, and there's Leafeon, and there's a fairy one.
Yeah, I like the look of the fairy one, but also
it's cute, but it's it might be too, like, it looks like a baby.
Yeah,
it's like the baby Spice of the Spice Girls of Eevees.
Well, now that's a thing.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls of Eevees.
Yeah. And Ginger is Flareon.
Yeah. And what's Vaporeon, though? Jolteon is definitely Scary Spice.
Okay. Vaporeon is sporty or posh? It might be posh.
I'm thinking it's posh.
Yeah, I think so,
She looks too fancy.
Yeah.
She's just so fancy.
It's just so sleek. Yeah. And it's always kind of posing with its mermaid tail. Mm-hmm. All right, great. Well, we don't have a sporty.
I don't think there is. Yeah, no, I don't think this analogy works at all.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't go that far.
we started it and it didn't work.
I wanted it desperately.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Did not work. Which Backstreet Boy would the evolutions be?
Man, I didn't have time for the Backstreet Boys. I was too into the Spice Girls. I only had room in my heart for the Spice Girls until it was time for Sailor Moon.
Wow. I'm so able to be obsessed with too many things at once.
No.
'Cause I was obsessed with all of that. Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys. All right. Do you know who I was super fucking obsessed with in a very real way? Was Together.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Together. All right. We're going to talk about this for a second. Together was a fake reality show band put together by MTV for a reality show. They made like 2 hit singles. They made 1 album, but they were filmed and they were picked to be stereotypes. They were picked to be like mocking the Backstreet Boys and the NSYNC in that they all fit a niche.
Oh.
Like the preppy one and the sporty one.
Wait, so there were more than 2 of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was
I
5 of them.
There were
and
just
then
2.
But the joke was that one of them was the sick one, and he actually had cancer and died. Like it was like a fucking, like it was all filmed on a reality show.
That can't be real.
It was real. And like it fucking are you fact checking me right now?
I am, because I refuse to believe that society decayed that long ago and it's not just decaying right now.
Yeah, no, it was over with together. But they had two amazing hit singles.
Hold on, I just need to find out the Cancer one.
You plus me equals us.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. I tell the truth.
He had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yes. And he was picked to be on this reality show because of that, because it was, and they introduced the show by calling him the sick one. It was like the pretty boy, yeah.
So he, weirdly, before that, his like Make-A-Wish Foundation wish was to be in a Baywatch episode as a kid with cancer. So like he already had this weird precedence for this meta cancer entertainment industry representation.
Yeah. But what was weird was that, like, when we were all watching, it was so good at being satirical. The reality show was so, because it was staged as a reality show, but it was scripted. So they were mocking reality shows as well. So you couldn't tell what was actually real and what wasn't. So when he fucking died, like, there were a large chunk of us that were just like, is that real? We don't actually know. Yeah.
That might be one of like the greatest stories I've ever heard.
Anyway, listen to You Plus Me Equals Us. It's one of the best songs ever written.
That sounds fake.
No, it's great.
Wow. That's unsettling for me. I don't like it. I feel weird about it.
I'll never, so like, I never land good with my mention of my obsession with Together.
Sure.
For obvious reasons. It's never on any nostalgia playlist you ever find anywhere.
Will I recognize the tracks or no?
I
Was it like on the radio?
Can't imagine that you wouldn't. But every time I've tried to relate to someone about this, it's never happened. With the exception of one person. One time I'm in my friend Muriel's apartment and I'm just like, haha, here's a funny story. Do you remember this band you probably forgot about? Together, that silly MTV band. And she didn't even have to move from where she was standing, but she reached over and like pulled the actual album off the shelf. It was like the best moment of my life. I've never been so validated.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I may not recognize it because my quick Wikipedia said 2000, and I think I was not tuned into pop music around that time. I think I might have boarded a different genre train.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had one album.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if it was
year.
like, if we're talking 98, I might have known, but if it was like 2000, 2001, I might not have known about them.
Yeah. So there were only two songs that got played on the radio. So there's like maybe a chance, but if you weren't like tuned into the weird MTV like aspect of it that was happening, it was, I guess, it was a low chance that you'd remember.
You know, this really, for me, devalues David Bowie's whole Lazarus setup.
Oh my god.
Because Michael Cucciano did it first. Talk about Cuccione. I don't know. Wikipedia is saying that he was a fucking cancer research activist. I don't think he was alive long enough for that. Are you frowning at me? Who are you frowning at right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not frowning at anybody.
So the Wikipedia article for it was definitely written by like a fanatic. Because the level of care and detail is also kind of unnerving.
Well, I mean, I guess that tracks, though. That who else would put time into writing a Wikipedia article?
I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what Evie would be Michael Cuccione?
Jolteon?
Because why?
Because he's extra.
Okay.
I like that's the best word that I have in my head for that.
I mean, I would say probably Umbreon because of like the morbidity of it.
Oh, the goth. Yeah.
And the fact that he's dead, you know.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I wish there was like a poison type one, because then we could like be like, because chemo.
Yeah.
I did it! Sorry, I just had to keep pushing it, Michael Cuccione, until I made you uncomfortable.
You did. You finally got me. It's mostly you pushing the issue with my mixed on chemo and cancer and how I don't like the association with
I don't
the
like
word
cancer
poison
either.
because I don't like the fact that some people will literally just not go to the doctor because they don't want to do that, and then also that it is kind of poison, like it's just there's God, sorry,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. My my job can't, like, I never leave work. It's like it's always like just sitting right back here. Yeah, can't go. Oh God, go to your doctors, but don't trust your doctors. That's my hashtag.
What was your favorite gym on the show?
Oh my God, good Christ, I don't
Or
know if I'm gonna
character.
remember that.
You liked Ash, you didn't like Misty.
Did you say who was my favorite gym?
Yeah, like that Ash had to go to. I thought the gym episodes were always the coolest.
Oh, okay, all right. You're like asking me about the. Okay, I don't remember Misty's.
Misty's gym?
Yeah.
Misty's gym was where she had 3 awesome, hot circus acrobatic water sport gym leader sisters that were like awesome that Ash came to defeat. And then there was like Misty, who was like the ugly sister that they teased.
Oh my God, I remember that. That was so stupid. I hated that. Okay.
Yeah. It was,
all right, so then
horrible.
So then no. What was Ash's gym like again?
Ash didn't have a gym. He was just like a kid from a small town.
Oh, okay, so that's why.
Yeah. He started the Pokemon journey at the ripe age of 10 years old and set out alone into the woods.
Oh, yeah.
And then Brock was the first gym he comes to. Brock's story was actually very weird, where Brock was responsible for raising his siblings because his dad ran away. And he had like 100
Brock,
of them.
I liked Brock's whole storyline a lot.
Yeah, and then his dad in that episode like finally came back, and Brock was like, okay, peace. Raise your own fucking kids now. It was weird. It was a weird intro to the show.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you had Misty. And then everybody after that, they just like beat up and then left.
Yeah.
I
So
liked the
Brock
psychic Pokemon
and
gym a lot.
Misty, and what other gyms were there then?
There's like one for each of the elements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like one
Man, I don't
in
remember
most
that.
towns.
I remember Misty's. I remember Brock's definitely, and then I don't really remember what the
There's
elements were.
the electric one was Lieutenant Surge. There's like a weird like American looking army guy.
I'm so impressed with you right now. Just by the way,
What'd you say?
I'm so impressed with you right now. Just by the way.
I always liked the psychic one the best because that episode was kind of weird. There was like stuff going on in the town because the gym leader was like too psychic and it was like fucking with everybody.
Oh,
And she was like a little girl.
Oh, I remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah. No, I remember that one. Man, I would like to give it a listen. Like, give it a rewatch. Like, I know I wouldn't get very far. Probably.
Well, it does go by really fast. It's pretty intolerable.
Yeah.
But they're so quick because if you take the commercial breaks out, it was a half-hour show. And, like, if you took the commercial breaks out, fast forward through the Team Rocket speech, the show's like 15 minutes an episode. It's like a YouTube series.
Yeah. Okay. So the song. I want to tell, like, a little anecdote about the fucking song.
The intro or the poker rap?
No, not the poker rap. The Pokemon theme song.
Okay.
So I don't know, a couple years ago, I'm helping somebody put together like a anime themed party or whatever, looking for different anime or cartoon theme songs to put together, and Googling different things and downloading them, whatever. So we're looking up things like top 100 best anime songs or whatever, and going. We find a couple of YouTube videos that go through them. We listen to one, and they're doing a countdown of like all the best.
The very best?
The very best. And the number one at the end of the countdown is the Pokemon theme song, which fine. Sure. I guess. Fair. I don't know. I don't know anything about anime. But the intro to it was so dramatic this girl was just like, this video was like the number one choice when you typed in like top anime songs on YouTube. This was really like highly rated and had a lot of views. And she gets to that and she goes, and finally, the song that brought us all together as humankind. And then like introduce the Pokemon song, but I was just like, wait, what? It did
Rewind.
What? The song that connected us all as humans. And I just thought it was so comically inflating the importance of this fucking theme song.
There are so many important things that you need to do after this podcast. You need to listen to the full version of the Poke Rap.
As if I haven't.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Okay.
And you need to fucking learn it. You need to,
okay.
download and play the whole ROM for the first Game Boy game.
Okay.
And you need to rewatch the whole show.
I have a very busy night ahead of me.
Yeah, all of it
That's
tonight.
all right.
I went through a period when Francis and I first started dating. We like went through a weird Pokemon thing and rewatched the show. You know, not all of it, but just like the first chapter or whatever the fuck.
Sure, yeah.
And it's so bad. It's really hard to watch. But you'll still cry sometimes. Like, I think you'll cry over Butterfree.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think you'll cry in the episode where Charmander and Bulbasaur and Squirtle think that Ash has abandoned them.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and they are talking. But you'll be delighted by the episode that all the bad Pokemon and good Pokemon team up to get off of Giant Pokemon Island.
Yes! Oh my god, I'm gonna love that so much.
Because they talk in that episode, which is great. You get subtitles for the Pokemon.
Oh my god. Do you remember that horrible, horrible band that I loved that I should never have loved? MSI?
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, do you remember that one like viral meme video of fucking Pokemon?
No.
No? Alright, I'm gonna send it to you.
What happened?
It's bad. It's just like it was a silly like fucking, it was, you know, pre-YouTube Newgrounds Media or whatever the fuck we were watching videos on before YouTube was a thing. Newgrounds or...
I literally don't remember. I know we were watching videos, but I don't even remember.
Yeah. They were like, it was a weird, scary time where you had to go look at 3 different websites before you found what you were...
Yeah.
Something entertaining to watch. Yeah. All right, I'm going to look up those things. I'm going to send you that bad MSI video.
Do also tell me of Generation 1 Pokemon, the best and worst Pokemon to have sex with.
Wow. Man, there are a lot of worsts. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what? There's a lot of worsts, but I'm going to give Jinx the
worst?
The worst. I think Jinx is the worst.
What?
Yeah.
Jinx is worse than, like, Caterpie?
Yeah, I mean...
Jinx is basically a human.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Caterpie is basically like some anal beads. Like, you just figure it out. I think the best, though... you just do what you gotta do. I think the best... I don't know, Vulpix is pretty hot.
Diana, you could pick, like, Mr. Mime. It's basically a person with 4
arms.
I
would not pick Mr. Mime. I intentionally not picking Mr. fucking Mime. Do you know how crazy scary Mr. Mime is?
I mean, if you rewatch the show, you'll see that it's heavily implied that Ash's mom has sex with Mr. Mime.
I can't wait to find that out. But no, I don't want that at all. Why? Who are your best and worst...
I don't fucking
fuckable
know.
Pokemon.
It would probably be something... Best would probably be something humanoid. And worst would probably be something either on fire or sharp.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I had this conversation with someone once, and they said best would be Lickitung, which is fucking gross, but also kind of right.
Yeah.
Right?
It makes sense.
So I want to make that reference out loud, but I don't want to say that that's my choice.
Sure, no, I'm proud of you.
I mean, yeah, I would probably go with...
Mr. Mime? You would fuck Mr. Mime? Say it. Say it out loud.
I think I would pick Jinx over Mr. Mime.
Ugh. God.
But I think that the, like, some of the fighting types are also pretty humanoid.
Yeah.
Like, if you like real butch looking guys. A Machoke or a Machamp makes sense.
Machoke, Machamp, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah,
have
I
the
get-
faces of dogs, but they have the bodies of people.
And hopefully the penises of people.
And
That
they
is
have the penis of dogs. Dogs have the most desirable type of penis.
Get out the lipstick.
I fucking hate it.
Wow. So
Well, so
we've
listeners,
learned a lot.
if you have any insight into this conversation that isn't creepy, email us.
Yeah, I don't know how that could possibly not be creepy, but
If you
Please email
feel
us the-
uncomfortable with what you're saying, then you're all right. But if you feel
Yes.
kind of good about what you're about to say, save it. Don't tell us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you feel really uncomfortable, please tell us who your best and worst Pokemon lay
Yeah.
is. First generation only.
I know.
Um,
I think the worst sexy Pokemon fanfic I ever read was Machamp.
yeah, I mean that makes sense.
But the problem was Machamp was having sex with the trainer and then also other Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, no, that ruins it somehow.
Yeah, it was
All
like
right, so that's the
Ash
other thing.
and then
Send us-
Vaporeon.
Send us some links to good Pokemon related fan fiction.
Yeah.
I always want to see that. And please weigh in on your thoughts about where your Pokemon nostalgia lies. Is it the game, the video games, the card games, or the TV show? Where did you get your roots sunk into that fandom?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point. I can't really think of a lot of other fandoms that truly have that many different incarnations that you
Yeah.
would potentially be recruited by. Like, there was a Mario cartoon, sure, but like no one's out there that's just like, I just like the fucking cartoon. Fuck the
No.
video games.
Yeah.
Or the
no.
live action
there
movie.
Were two, weren't there? Were two Mario shows, right? And one had that fucking live action
Intro.
intro
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was really fucking good.
I only remember that one.
Yeah. There was the same thing with Sonic. There were two versions of the cartoon, and one was
Yes.
dark and fucking kind of sinister, and one was campy and cartoony and silly.
I liked the old, whichever one was older. I liked, but there's been a more recent one because they draw Dr. Robotnik a lot pointier, and I haven't seen
Yeah.
that one. I don't know if that one's the dark one or not.
No, it's not. It's just that they're both the two that I'm thinking of existed sort of around the same time frame.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Sonic, but I never had Sega, and I only ever got to play Sega at aftercare at school because I got picked up
Yeah.
late. But my friends never had Sega, so Sonic was this fucking unreachable, beautiful thing.
That's amazing to me. Do you know how emotional that makes me feel? Because when I went to college and I was I really want, oh man, you guys have video games? I want to play video games. I haven't played video games since I was in fucking elementary school because we hadn't had a console since Sega died. And everybody had Nintendo. And I was
Yeah.
what the fuck is any of this?
Yeah.
Where is...
Where's Sonic? Yeah,
Where's Sonic?
I
Where's...
still have a weird feeling if I have access to Sonic. It's just this secret, unattainable, beautiful game. It's
Yeah.
the rarest of all of the games.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's super good.
Except fuck you, Mr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. What a fucking stupid ass game.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's just Tetris, but with beans, and for some reason, Mr. Robotnik is there. It's the
Oh,
worst.
it's like Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the end. That was towards the end of the line when everything started to fall apart and we lost our way.
I remember a little while ago, Jesus, it was probably 10 years ago, that there was a werewolf Sonic the Hedgehog role-playing game.
Yeah, and there was nothing to
That doesn't make
you...
any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense. There was no reason for Sonic fans to want to play it. There was no reason for fans of RPGs to want to play it over any of the million other RPGs there are. And that's where Sonic fell apart. They tried to half-ass catering to other to the development.
Well, Mario was starting to have RPGs, but they were good. and
Yeah.
like cute and like maintained the same sort of
They
aesthetic.
maintained the aesthetic, they maintained the characters, and they didn't try to like reinvent them or anything, so that you still had the nostalgia factor to want to play them. None of them are going to be the best RPGs on the market,
Yeah.
but if it still keeps that nostalgia factor, you'll want to play them.
I will say that I had to house sit, and they had a Sonic RPG game that I think came out before the Werewolf game, but like not by a lot. It was that same console generation. And I loved it. And I was really sad that I never got to finish it, but I don't know what it was called.
And it was the Sonic one?
Mhm.
Oh, I'll have to
It
look
had
that
like
up.
a million different mammals that you got to play as, but you didn't get to choose. It was like the different chapters, and when you got to the next chapter, you would be like the bunny or the squirrel or whatever. But I just thought the gameplay was really fun.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up.
But it wasn't Sonic. It was like a different fucking game of
yeah.
being different kinds of mammals, and some can jump and some can roll really fast and
Yeah, so
whatever.
what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Yeah, that's the annoying part. All right, so please tell us where you got your interest in Sonic, in fucking Pokemon. Wow, we tangented. How weird. Tell us where you got your interest in the Pokemon game, or the Pokemon franchise in general.
Ooh, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question that's going to sound judgmental to furries, which is not my intention, but might be my impact. Do you think that good Pokemon cosplay is truly doable? Or is it a bridge too far? Can you have a good, recognizable Pokemon cosplay that doesn't feel like a furry? Have you seen it done?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it
Really?
done. And it's when there's not, because if you're in a full fursuit, everybody's gonna assume you're a furry, which is legitimately not a big deal. But if you're going from a cosplay perspective, there's I assume, like, I don't think that there's any need to differentiate, but I think cosplayers want there to be a differentiation of, that from the furry like aspect of things and costuming. So which I get, because you know you don't want to automatically be assumed to have that proclivity if you don't. But I've seen a lot of not just Pokemon but other like fully animal cosplays. So like I've seen a lot of different Pokemon cosplays that where instead of being in a full fursuit, there's a combination of makeup, fur elements, and there's like costume pieces that are really, really well done, to kind of give the aesthetic overall, that to the point where you know exactly what you're looking at. It's recognizable, but you're not. They're not obscured completely. You're not a person inside a suit. I've seen really good Ewok costumes done that way as well, where like you're not, you know, like
But
entirely.
Ewoks have clothes.
Sure.
Like, could you
Some
imagine
Pokemon
seeing good,
have-
like, gremlins?
No, but I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd really love to see that.
I think it depends on the Pokemon, but I think that the cuter and, like, cuddlier the Pokemon, the more challenging it becomes.
Yeah, it would be. It would be challenging. Not
Like,
to
I think
just
you could
do
be a
it.
kick-ass Blastoise, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really be a Pikachu.
Well, I mean, you could be in like a fucking onesie, or you could be like, yeah. I wouldn't say Pikachu's cute and cuddly as much as like I think the more you go towards like Flareon, you're getting into dangerous territory.
Oh, really? Of, like,
Yeah.
maybe you
Of,
want
like-
to fuck me.
Oh, like maybe you want to fuck this. maybe you want to fuck this fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hard because sometimes I think it would be fun to do Pokemon costumes, and then I just can't. I can't get there into my brain where I feel like it's not, like, trying to make it fuckable.
I mean, I'm going to say that I've seen some really great Ewok costumes that I thought also looked a little bit fuckable. so like, I don't know. Where's the line?
It's a toss-up.
Who's to say?
Well, at least there's one more world problem that we've outlined that we have yet to solve,
Is
how to make a not fuckable, fluffy Pokemon costume.
yeah, how to make, I mean, you know, it's just like, could you do, you know what? I have so many thoughts right now. Like this episode's getting too long, but you know, Disney's Robin Hood.
Yeah, I want to fuck that.
Yeah, you want to fuck both of them. Robin Hood and Maid Marian are so hot.
Yeah.
So
But they're humanoid.
they're human. They're
Like,
just
not
bipedal.
only do they
They're
have the
just
agency and culture of a human, but they also are articulated like human bodies. But, you know, Chansey
But like,
is
if a
not.
human tried to dress up in that costume,
That'd be fine.
they wouldn't be able to not be sexy.
Yeah, but that would be... I mean, those are basically humans with fox faces. Pokemon can only say their own names. They are pets for all intents and purposes. They don't have culture.
Well,
with
we
the
don't know
exception
that
of ones
because-
that are hyper intelligent. I don't really understand how this works.
Yeah, we don't know that. That's not necessarily true.
I'm just saying, Disney's Fox Robin Hood is not the same thing as like a Psyduck.
Oh man, Psyduck might be the least fuckable. maybe it's Psyduck.
Psyduck would certainly be the most disappointing.
Yeah. It'd be the most work for me, I feel like. All right. Well,
On that note,
we're gonna mosey on out of this episode so I can continue to list Pokemon that I find disappointing in bed. So we'll where can you find us? Where can you connect with us, Avalon?
you can connect
Outside
with
this
us
podcast.
on, I believe, all of the most popular forms of social media, including Instagram at Femsplained Podcast, Twitter at Femsplained Cast, Facebook at Femsplained Podcast, and I think that's it.
And check us out on YouTube. We're putting some
YouTube
things
and
up there.
Twitch.
And Twitch.
Yeah.
Both Femsplained Podcast.
Sweet.
And
And you can email us. I already said
yes,
that. But
please do with the aforementioned things, which are how did you get into Pokemon, which Pokemon is the most and least fuckable.
Ooh, I want to say
And-
that we gave you 3 options for how you got into Pokemon. None of those options include the manga, and if you are here to say that like that's how you got into it or that's the best form, then just go away, because I think that you're just trying to pretend like that you're something that you're not, and I'm not interested.
We want the truth.
Yeah.
We want the goddamn
I don't know who you're
truth.
trying to impress. It's not gonna be me.
We're not here to be impressed.
No.
We're never gonna be impressed. I'm probably gonna be impressed, but I won't articulate it.
No.
Yeah. So how you got into it, and was there anything else we wanted?
I don't care.
No.
I guess if you want to weigh in on this whole like cosplay thing.
Oh yeah. No, actually, please. Yeah. Especially if you've fucking done one, please. I'm dying to know. Like if you've done a cosplay of a Pokemon, I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it, but we're not going to really be able to tell you how we really feel about it.
I will.
No,
I'll
you
tell
won't. You'll just say,
I
oh my
will.
god, good job. Whereas I might be like, that's still a little bit too fuckable.
All right. Please send us your Pokemon cosplay so I can say that it looks nice and Avalon can say she wants to fuck it. Please do exactly that. I can't wait.
I want like a
Alright.
hot or not of
Yeah.
Pokemon cosplay.
Yeah. That's what we'll do. Avalon, what are you doing after this?
I'm going to do homework. What are you doing after
Okay.
this?
I'm gonna do some wine and go to bed. Think more about which Pokemon I'd rather bone.
Maybe not while you're whining.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the end.
Thank you for listening, listeners, peepers.
Thank you.
And
Peepers.
thank you for talking, Diana.
Thank you, Avalon, for showing up.
For just showing up.
For just being here.
All right, well, have a really blessed day, everyone.